I'm going to be teaching you guys who watch this not just what to think. I'm going to be teaching you how to think, okay? They don't want you to be able to figure out what's actually going on. They just want you to agree to do whatever the fuck they tell you to do. Now, I would love that too. But because I'm telling you guys the truth, I'm also teaching you how to think. Whoever complains first isn't the right person. They're just the person plotting the most sometimes. Right. We're back. And today we're going to be talking about something very, very, very special, right? Ooh. Oh. Mmm. Yeah. We doing all right today. We doing all right today, right? But we're going to be talking about, what we do on the channel. And I like to remind you guys every once in a while. But before we do that, those of you who watch my content already know you're right. 100% all of you guys are right. We could be dressed up a little bit more for the occasion. So one more, yeah, that's a lot more like it. So, been a second since we got the video and everything, but we doing fancy things, as you can see. Getting a little bit fancy over here. So, one of the things I like to remind you guys, especially those of you who have not seen my content before, or some of you who, visit on occasion, is that I'm going to be teaching you guys who watch this not just what to think. I'm going to be teaching you how to think, okay? And the reason I say that is because, there's definitely some grooming and indoctrination going on here with the content that I'll be sharing with you. And the reason for that is quite simple, okay? They have been showing you guys the wrong thing all along and not giving half of a fuck, okay? They don't care about you. They just don't. What they care about is control and getting you to think the way that they want to think. And I also share some of those qualities as well, right? But here's the thing that's a little bit different. Some of you who may be old enough, your parents ask your parents, ask your grandpa, they used to teach critical thinking in the West, right? Because they wanted you to be able to navigate a mental pathway through a maze of potential problems, or simply things that just need answers, because things do need answering. But they don't do that so much anymore, now do they? They don't want you to be able to figure out what's actually going on. They just want you to agree to do whatever the fuck they tell you to do. Now, I would love that too. But because I'm telling you guys the truth, I'm also teaching you how to think. Because that's the most important tool you'll ever have in life. Not being funny, not looking good, but knowing how to mentally navigate through situations. Now, the reason that's a thing is because no matter how good you look, no matter how funny you are, if you don't understand what's going on around you, you can't fix the problems that you're inevitably going to run into, okay? One of the biggest things I like to focus on is facts, not feelings, almost all the time, right? And there's a few exceptions to that, right? Like, I'll give you one, which is happiness index, or happiness of a people or a population. That's mostly having to do with how they feel, right? But again, even something like that still ties back in to facts over feelings. And the reason is because people who aren't happy when they wake up don't produce things that the rest of us care about or enjoy. A bunch of depressed people aren't going to come up with a cure for anything or your favorite video game. You saw that with Concord. Those are a bunch of depressed people, and what they made was abysmal. But we'll stop there with that one. That could be another video for another time, but I think enough people have done videos on people who do woke creations and who those people are and how the rest of us really don't give a fuck about those people. The other thing I like to do, right, is I like to tell you guys to double check information that you hear. If you're new here, oh man, we are silky clean, huh? All right, that's enough for now. We're silky clean. That's enough for now, though. It's looking all sorts of good, huh? One of the things I like to remind you guys, right, is to check things that you hear about from sources that you don't know or have proven to be incredible before. Now, if you're new here and you want to fact check things, I understand that. But here's the thing you have to understand. There's a big difference, a huge difference, in fact, a colossal difference, a giant difference. That's what she said. There's a big difference between fact checking and paranoia. You can't fact check every single thing that you happen to hear, right? And you shouldn't, right? Every single thing, come on, right? But you do need to fact check some things, and especially if they come from incredible sources. For instance, like I was saying, you first got here to my channel. This is your first time seeing me, hearing about me. You know, you haven't heard what I have to say before. So you're like, well, what about this one thing he said? Okay, cool. I got you. 6 months from now, if you're still around, a year from now, if you're still around, something like that. If you're still fact checking me, now you're just being paranoid, right? You watch 10 of my videos and video after video, I don't ever miss, then you're just being paranoid. So I like to teach people how to think, not just what to think, okay? So if this is your first time coming to my video channel, my stream, then just know that you're here and you're going to learn a lot of truth, okay? About things that a lot of people wouldn't want you to know. Because the more you know, and the more you know how to process the information, the more you can make a change. That's for the better. And sometimes for the better of everyone isn't for the better of, well, make everyone happy. A utopia makes almost everyone pretty happy, and it teaches those who aren't happy with it to be happy with the things that it has. Sometimes the most important thing that can be done about a situation is to do nothing about a situation. Here, I'll explain. You and a chick are hanging out, and you guys get into a disagreement or whatever, and then she says that you cussed her out, called her a whole bunch of names, and you never said any of that. Of course, this could be extrapolated to other things that are even more serious that people can't prove, but we're going with the more lighthearted stuff today. So let's say that happens, okay? Now, what if the friend group approaches you and says, hey man, she said you guys got into an argument and you said some vile things about her mama. What's up with that? And you go, yeah, I didn't say that. And she goes, yeah, you did. Well, they could kick you out of the friend group. They could ostracize you. They could treat you weird. Or they could just tell her, hey, look, I heard what you said. This is what he had to say about it. There's nothing more to do about it. You guys just gonna have to get along, right? That sounds like the logical answer, right? A lot of softer friends groups might try to enforce some kind of action against you because this person complained. Whoever complains first isn't the right person. They're just the person plotting the most sometimes. And if that person's complaining without any type of a proof, then that's something to watch out for, okay? If they're complaining and expecting action, if they're just getting something off of their breast or their chest, then yeah, okay, we understand that. But if they're seeking action when they have no proof for something, that's cause for concern a lot of times more than the action they're complaining about. Because how the fuck do you expect someone to be punished for something you can't even remotely begin to prove? So these are the kinds of things I like to, because like I said, this can be extrapolated to other things that are way more serious than calling somebody's mama fat or something like that, right? But you, if you live in a Western society, are living in a society that will run a circus show around you if someone says you did something, even if they haven't. And that's something to be aware of and know how to combat. And know other places you can go to in the world to live a much better life where you wouldn't have to ever face or be under that kind of a threat. Anyways, this has been a nice light video, a fun video where I get to flex and just look good on everybody, in front of everybody, and do some fancy ass shit, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to tell you guys, always strike with vengeance. And if you really want to get your mind into what I'm talking about, if you really want to open up and see the world and know a bunch of real shit that you've never heard of, about how stuff in space, what they tell you, space, I'm telling you, I got some real shit, not conspiracy shit, that will just topple your mind. And you need to be following right now on this fucking platform, because this is where you're gonna get more of it. Always strike with vengeance. I'm gonna see you in the next video.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.